started teaching when she was 52. She got her bachelor's degree. And when she started, she would substitute when she got her associates. And all she heard in the locker room, the teacher's lounge, were the white teachers making fun of the black students, especially some of the names. And so Marie said, you know what, I might not be able to change this, but I'm going to get in here and see what I can do. So she got her degree and she taught for probably 20 years. She's subbing every day at Sumner. She's 81. She's subbing every day. And she told me today, when I visited her class, she said that there are 3 black teachers. Almost all the students are Hispanic. They have no idea, don't even care what the history is. So here's what I'm going to suggest. And this is from my career. When the Federal Aviation Administration said, oh, we can't find any black people to be air traffic controllers, and you can't do that, you can't take the test, and you can't be a controller after your 31st birthday. So we would go out. We formed an organization in the 60s called the National Black Coalition of Federal Aviation Employees. That's what Sumner High School Alumni Association is like. We went out and found the kids, and then we went and taught them underground how to take the air traffic control exam. We taught air traffic. The reason we have black people controlling traffic today, and as pilots and engineers and others, is because there's an organization that said, we're not going to just sit here and complain that our kids don't know about this. We're going to go out and find them. And that organization is still growing strong. We give out $100,000 in scholarships every year. Sumner High School Alumni Association needs to be about bringing these kids into Sumner Academy. We need, because it doesn't make sense that in our community, there are hardly any black kids in that school and hardly any black teachers.
Whose letter is this?
Make one other comment. It was stated though there by William Ellison. It said they didn't do anything. I'm saying to the wisdom, I told them before his pass, you all remember, did you say anything? No thing. And I'm gonna call this name. Rodora Pilcher Madable. Sumner class of 1966. Set up, and she led the charge, but I was part of that. Norman Johnson wasn't a whole bunch of people, everybody back up. That's a lie when you say that nobody participates. So if you're here, and if you didn't open your mouth when they closed Sumner, he's talking about that's not true what Whit said. And that's why the door, my hat's always off to her, not on what she did, but now. That's why we probably never see the door come to one of the alumni associations, because it's an insult to her, and I understand. My hat's off to the door.
There's another question.
For those of you that didn't know, we were involved in the very first protest. We was the filed initial lawsuit. And we fought against it so hard, FBI had to come in. They called our house. They threatened our children. I know where your children go to school. They threatened our kids. They threatened to burn our house down. Yes, his job. And while Plucker said, well, I just had to do what the board said, no. We were in the courtroom, and he sat there and told the judge, and the judge let him say it. We closed Northeast, and it's out Banneker, when they closed Dunbar, both Dunbars, Grant, Stowe, and not Grant, but the other school, and made Banneker. Well, Hobart came later.
It was killing that they made Banneker.
Yeah, and so, right, Huey. And so they closed those schools and built Bannisters to do the same thing, separate the kids. And they had us to go through the streets to follow the pattern that the buses would have to take. At first they wanted to separate the kids that grades 1 and 2, kindergarten 1 and 2 will go to this school. And then 3 and 4 will go over there. You still had junior high. And then 5 and 6 will be over there, no matter what school you were in. But Plucker sat there and said they closed those schools because he didn't want their white kids going down Fifth Street seeing pimps and prostitutes in the middle of the day.
And I was the right person to say that.
And that's the same thing now with we don't want our kids learning about the history.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them to feel bad.
This school case, from the school case, style. And I asked people on the day that marched on Washington, what would you do? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What would you do on the day they had that march on Washington? Because the school case, the day they had the march on Washington, August 20, 1963, 26 of us. The grand jury was meeting in Kansas City, Kansas to indict 26 of us. As a result of the school case. You look at that one. I'm probably the only one left now. I don't know if there's Jackson is still alive. Dolores Kingsman knows exactly where facilitated that whole downward work. That's what happened to some of us. The tragedy is this history, it's not law, because I'm writing it down. But most generations, I don't want to hear that stuff, even from some people don't want to hear that stuff. You heard the name Little Shacks. You heard me say on that thing. There needs to be a statue of Carl Randolph. Google it was saying. They sent her out, and she wasn't confused. They sent her out here. But Carl Randolph, senior, I want to emphasize, senior, not junior. Right. But a lot of stuff that happened to us right now, I've got material that nobody else has. What do I do with it? Because people will say, I want to hear that stuff. And I'm talking about something. It's a dilemma for me right now. I've got a museum. I'm turning my house into a museum. I got no way to pass it on. I ain't got time. I can't move around. I see Dr. Kitchen sitting back there. And she don't know, but she's on my list. No, not to. I'm looking for people to give stuff that will appreciate it and know.
I think there are a lot of us that are historians that would do that. I think there are a lot of us that do.
Right.
A lot of us. I'm a historian. We've got Randy a lot, and Dr. Hitchner. A lot of us are historians. So
What's frustrating now? John Adams is going to do a program today. What's frustrating? Well, our issue. There is a concerted attempt across this country to get rid of history. Let me give you an example.
I just want to ask one question.
But let me say, here in Kansas City, Kansas, we're going to do a mural project called The History of Wyandotte County, just for the Kansas City. Dr. Hitchner was sitting in that room here working through the project. How many of you are even familiar with it? Okay, now I'm standing to live here. I could do something historic. How the hell are you going to be historic? You don't know nothing about the mural project that they did. They said, we want you all to do people who volunteered or asked to do the represent certain sections of the city. Northeast, Condero, Arkansas, wrote all. We want you to submit 20 items that should be on the mural. It was one of the best things I participated in a long time. Basically, the vast majority of people were open. There were 2 or more there who were from instructors that didn't want that girl project. Okay, now, it's out there. It's also online. Now, if I would ask you in here, going back to Wyandotte County history, they asked to list the person who you think influenced the area, or probably the most productive person in the area from the time of African American story. If I would ask you in this room, who would be your top 3? Going all the way back now.
You mean from this area?
From the Northeast area, going all the way back when blacks first came to Wyandotte County. Who would be probably the 3 most influential? Or not influential, but accomplished stuff. I ask this question all the time. And here's the question.
I don't know about Mr. Murray. I don't know what Mr.
Patterson.
Murray.
How many know anything about Kirby Patterson? I am here, Francis Bradley Robinson, class of 66 is here. What grandfather? He's probably one that I have Bradley seen. Probably one of the most outstanding person not only given in this country. And right here in Kansas City, we don't know, and I can only say we don't want to know. I have to do with this. Just I called up, done some research, and I went up to the Kansas State Historical Society, and I went up to Wyandotte County Historical Society, and this is what I found. I said, they ain't true.
Right.
I have the actual documents. How far they up there now. And they'll say, but is that at the music? I said, it ain't true.
Where would that say Thompson's father stand?
Huh?
Where was Saul Thompson's father stand?
Probably in the top 10. I am Bradley, Corbin Patterson, the Church of God in Christ. I'm gonna start to get the Church of God in Christ and then put on here. Two of the original founders of, well, it was three. One of them
Young.
One of them dropped out. Bishop Mason, another one, DJ Young.
DJ Young.
They just did a film on him on DJ right here in Kansas.
I agree. He was the attorney for, I believe,
He was on, this man was a citizen in the 1800s, all his folks in the 1800s. We have, if you look at the history, you can see how really we're going backwards. We're going backwards so fast now. I know Dr. Williams want to make me comment, but I talk too much. I know that. But that's all.
One thing that I want to say.
I just want to ask one question. In the video, I heard they were talking about the bus drivers and how they had to go all completely through the whole community. And then they said, even having to cross over in Johnson County.
Right.
Were there many African-American families
There were a few in Johnson County.
in
Yes.
Johnson
Yeah,
County?
there's some that have been in Johnson County a long
The Carroll family actually lived in Johnson County.
One of them drove their own school bus.
Right.
They parked, they picked up the kids, parked the bus, and when the school was over, they got back on the bus and took the rest of the kids home before they could park the bus.
Wow.
But the other thing that I want to say, when they finally did close Sumner, and they had offered certain teachers to stay, they even offered them more pay to stay in the district. Mr. Pitts, Mr. Turpin, and what are the others? I can't remember what it is now. At any rate, they refused to teach here in Kansas. They wanted Mr. Turpin to go to Wyandotte. Like, he said, no, that's not happening. Because we got to junior college all at the same time.
Right.
And the white kids could not believe that we had him in high school.
Well, let me say, I would suggest to get the book, the history of Kansas City, Kansas College.
Yes.
You get the book and read it.
Junior college.
Kansas College. They were out there one time when they were dealing with away. It took them 13 years. Well, let me ask a question now. Who was the first black to teach education in college?
Mr. Turpin, wasn't it?
Hmm?
I thought it was Mr. Turpin.
Mr. Turpin, yeah. Mr. Turpin, and it took them 13 years from 1954 to have a teacher. And they states that they do quoting on Sumner High School in that book. I suggest get that book and not only read it, but study. Now, that was some comments made, I had made one. In the school system, as long as slavery and Pierce was there were not any teacher in the school system, black or white, that had a PhD. If you got a PhD, Pearson and Slavery said you either got a bad teacher or that out. Because they didn't have
You knew too much.
Okay. Now, that's the kind of material you read. And that's
Didn't
what
all
makes
of
the
the teachers at Sumner have to have a master's to teach?
When I went to Sumner 1949, every teacher, my teacher
They
had
had to have a
had a master's degree.
Or a PhD.
MD. No, I didn't have no PhD.
By the time I got there, we had a couple of
That
PhDs.
was on the clock.
Yes.
Schlegel did not allow, Schlegel or Pearson did not, you could not, if you got a PhD in the school, University 500 people, if you wasn't fired, they would make it so difficult for you to stay.
Chester, you should teach a class or a workshop.
Huh?
You should teach a class or a workshop on
I've been
this.
teaching, brother now, that's good. I have really got down on my hands and knees and beg and beg. I have said, well, Chester, how do we know that if you attended any church, I've been doing lectures in Kansas for the last 30 years. So when you tell me, I don't know why I didn't hear that. Well, I'm saying, where the hell were you?
I'm in Lee Summit.
Huh?
I'm in Lee Summit. That's why.
I'm serious. First thing I tell the people, now, I'm not a civil rights woman. I look at Cressida. I sit in Cressida in 1952. Well, I got rid of overseas out in the Air Force. I'm a real good. But here, how many know what happened in Minnesota happened? Oh, yeah. I was the chair of the committee, got all the arms of the pictures and everything. I was the chair of the committee. We started doing the integrated. I was the chair of the committee, so when people went out there, you're reading. Because this just happened last year, I'm jumping around. The controversy over the swimming pool last summer.
Yeah.
Can anybody in this room tell me how that swimming pool got up there? It's the only public swimming pool in Kansas City, Kansas, since they closed all of them they had back in the 50s. Can anybody here tell me how that swimming pool got up there?
Was it you?
I still got scars on my butt. And the day we had the protest, and I don't know where all y'all were, but I was there, along with some of the kids. And they said, well, listen, where are the adults? Where are the people from Sumner? I said, they're somewhere here. That's what I said. I asked the question, is there anybody in this crowd? Nobody's pulled back.
What was it, down on, at Edgerton Park? It wasn't swimming pool, but it wasn't little kids, wading pool, and stuff was open for years.
They had swimming pools in Argentina, in Armadale. They had one out there. They had swimming pools and all.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it's the history. And I wish somebody would tell me how I can do it. I'm not to go down on that. I wish somebody could tell me how we can get this message out. This one, and I realize I'm talking too much. That's my Commissioner, my grandson, where did Sumner Academy at the same time. What am I going to do with all this material? I wish somebody would tell me where I can teach class. But I've made a product presentation in every black church in Kansas City over the last 6 years. Speeches everywhere. I don't know. I don't know.
What about the community college?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say the same thing. You need a permanent class. Every day, 5 days a week, 2-3 days a week, and
I'm killing. 5 days a week.
No, I'm 2 days a week.
Train somebody. After the pandemic went off, so concerned. I mean, at a certain age, first thing you ought to know when it's time to quit.
Yeah. Good for your head.
When we completed that Sumner Alumni Room, which is one of the best ventures that I've ever been involved in, and people like Devon and here, it wasn't any.
It was good people working together.
This is what I'm going to do. We didn't know anything about Sumner Alumni Room. And the other thing is that when you go in that alumni room, you see all the cases and all that other stuff. Where do you think that stuff came from?
You say it was at your house? Not a.
No, I'm talking about the big cases.
Oh, the cases, oh, yeah.
Okay. The name Don Jones, not all the cases up there, but there was some connections. Not only gallons were free, but at that time, I had a friend in UG that had a home over there. It would cost you $5,000 just to hold them glass cases over there. And we don't, I'm on somewhere along the line, what's the name of Don called y'all. And the other person who made the phone call that said that stuff sitting on the curb was the white librarian. And we heard
the last video.
And here again, so there's so many stories. But one more thing, and I'm going to be quiet. I think Joanne College left. Joanne, Mitchell College, we lived at Rosedale. But what's happening now? The most important issue in this book is good. I'll allow them to get that's what's getting lost. 2015, y'all please. I'm not sitting up here talking about what I did. As a matter of fact, after they said we set this room up, that room, the Lord said, we don't even have this. No, you're not. I don't need that. And they said, okay, so David up there, my wife was there, she was a liar. And I said, no, she said, smart man knows his wife better. Brett would probably think she runs something. He don't run nothing. Just like you think Alabama, you run it. You don't run Alabama runs it.
He knows.
But I had, I learned that. And I had been here, kind of lost my train of thought.
Come on, name in the room.
Huh?
Name in the room.
In 2015.
With your
Yeah,
wife
in
there.
2015.
You didn't want to name it after
Oh,
you.
I got a phone call. Anybody here heard of the history makers? I had. And so, Miss Soin, who was my second father, told me that we're all ignorant just in different things. So if you think you're smarter than somebody else, throw that out the window. I got a call, the guy said, I'm from the history maker, said, he explained what it was. He said, we have done interviews on every major person, Black African and American, you name it, they know it. But what they started in 2003, we want to interview people.
I just wanted to make a small announcement that if you have a car on the front drive, could you please move it to the parking lot? Because there are some Sumner people still trying to check in, and they can't even get it in the drive because it's so congested. So if you are parked on the front drive, could you please move it to the back? And then all you have to do is push for a paper ticket, and then I'll give you a key, okay, to get out. Thank you. Excuse me.
They explained what he said, and I had also, they said, the real history, like what went on in this room today, what Kamisha has put on here, is getting lost. And said, we don't have no idea why we have not been in the great against it. We've been in every major city in America. We've even been to Wichita. We don't run against it. So I'm calling to say that we'll come at Kansas City, and we've selected 9 people from the big Kansas with oral history. Now, I'm ignoring Kansas, other than from a few people, but I'm serious. 9 names in the video. I said, who's the man? He said it was an attorney from Hush Blackwell Law Firm. Well, Hush Blackwell Law Firm is the second largest law firm in the world. I said, who? He said, the name. And they said, if you consent, we'll come, and we're the second person we talked to of 9. And we'll come and he explained interest throughout his life. Each interview costs $6,000. And we'll bring our own equipment and do it to your house. Not the same. And the interesting part is myself, Joanne Collins here again. Got a whole story to tell. She didn't even really know. She may have got the thing where they have people out there USD 500. And Fernando Gatta, which I just saw Fernando coming in downstairs. Another guy, it was 9 of us. Well, I was always curious about who submitted them. After it was over, we were at the Black Archive, had a little ceremony, which was paid for by the history maker, and everybody there. They said, that's a fascinating thing. I said, well, how do you know that? He said, we know about you. So who was we? It's always that question. What I'm saying is that persons who understand the history of this country are really critics. That may seem strange. And the history makers, once the interview is done, it's housed in the Library of Congress. They have their own thing, the history makers house. I know I've talked too much.
May I ask?
And I asked her, well, that's what but after the pandemic, I said, well, my wife had passed. Let me start a history class. And so, here again, I will go to the meeting. I said, well, find a line about 10 minutes. I said, we're going to start having our backyard and so what it's called, it's cold. I just really had got to the point where I was burnt out. And, remember, and you have people who would contact some would missing, so I got tired of calling, so are you gonna be here next week, or are you gonna be here? That's why I just said, we had a blind school, which is one of my county's best secrets, kept secrets. So I have to use the blind school, so I just found it, and they opened their own schools. So I just found it, told people, I just got to call it quits.
May I ask you something? Back in the day, there was a restaurant on Minnesota that would not allow us to come in.
Couldn't go into none of them.
No, but there was one on the south side of the street. Because as a youth NAACP person, I had to leave high school and go pick it 3 days a week.
August 19.
Was that restaurant or cafeteria?
It was
No.
a restaurant.
August.
I didn't want to eat it in
No,
anyway,
okay.
but.
August of the year, the same year they had the sit-ins at Greensboro. That happened in April. One that happened here in Kansas City in August of that same year. 5 people sit in Youngster. One happened to my sister, Francis, and went through the class back in 60. Gwendolyn Davis Strickland, sometimes think of the Roman First Baptist Church.
First Baptist.
County? Huh?
Later.
Well, this later on the First Baptist. There was 5 young, nobody knew.
Was it Maryland White?
Maryland got involved when it became, so a lot of people got involved when it became safe to get involved. When it got safe, you know, people. And then, Maryland, I ain't talking about dead people, but after it got safe, a whole lot of people jumped out there and said, no, they stayed in. The labor union, the Black Panther House labor union, somehow got them, and they set in. And then WSCP got involved and kind of took D'Angelo. Okay, that's one. There were 5. See, I got that whole. I even got pictures because I had just gotten out of school almost, and I had the freedom of my job, which paid $175 a month. I had 2 kids. So I prayed.
But you made it.
But I had to be the one who made sure the picket here. The picket signs were made, the picket signs were kept in the law office of Iron Bradley Jr., which was on the corner, and A.B. Howard. My job was to make sure that if the picket didn't show up, the labor in that office named Mr. Bradley, he called me successor, because people take a sign, nobody's here. So I either had to fill in or find somebody else. That went on.
Because I wore out my Hills Brothers shoes.
You all remember me? That's why all
Mr. Owen Wilson was our leader for the youth NACP.
Very, and he sold more memberships than anybody in NAACP.
And my aunt would not allow me to go to the watch or walk to Selma, Alabama, because she knew me and Stokely would be best friends. So,
But you know, a lot of
Washington, they said.
I mean, that's it. Well, my past, I had to sit and listen to my past every Sunday morning because I was a member of NAACP. They didn't kick me out. They would. That's another whole story. But my past at the church was up and doing this crazy talk on Sunday. He criticized who was participating. And when they had the bishop, they got it over Selma. He said, "Well, I asked the church to give the money. I raised so much hell on that. We still gave it." But he wasn't about to participate in nothing.
Well,
But in the same way, we participated in something. We don't participate in nothing.
The